Hey everybody, this is Xander Kamatazi, and I'm currently on my Marauder, and I'm going to go over the Annihilation spec. I'm going to be going over some things to know in the discipline path here, but I'm not going to go over everything, so please read over everything it has to show, so that we can potentially find things that will help you create your own rotation. I will also be going over the utility points here. Again, I recommend that you read over all of it so that way you can find a spec layout that fits your playstyle far better. I will of course be going over the basic rotation, and if I have time I will go over some player tips. Otherwise I'll make another video strictly for player tips for you guys. So first things first, I will be going over the utility points. Under Skillful, I have Cloak of Carnage, which increases the damage dealt by Cloak of Pain by 15% and increases duration by 4 seconds. I also have Overwhelm, which allows you Ravage ability to immobilize the target for 3 seconds. I also have Brazen, which increases your damage reduction by 2%, and you build 2 Fury when attacked. Fury building effect cannot occur more than once every 1.5 seconds. A couple good utility points that are good for substitutions will be Inexorable, which you generate 4 rage when stunned, immobilized, put to sleep, or knocked around. Also, your Unleash cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds. The other substitution is going to be Path Carver. Sweeping Slash deals 25% more damage. Under Masterful, I have Relentless, which predation no longer requires or consumes Fury, but will go on cooldown for 30 seconds when activated. I personally like this because it allows you to use your Fury on your Berserk, which you want to use most of the time via Fury anyway. In Predation, along with the utility point here, when it's used every 30 seconds, you can also use while your Berserk is going as well. Or you could use it like I do and use it as if it was a defensive ability, or you could use it just to run faster. I also have Stringulate, which reduces cooldown Force Choke by 15 seconds. This is my own personal preference, as I use Force Choke often, either via duels or via war zones, or just in situational purposes as well. If you do not want to use Strangulate, Defensive Roll is a good utility point as substitution, which reduces damage taken from area effects by 30% and increases internal and elemental damage reduction by 3%. Under Heroic, I have Expunging Camouflage, which removes all cleansable effects when you activate Force Camo. And I also have Undying, which increases the duration of Undying Rage by 2 seconds and reduces its cooldown by 30 seconds. I did not find anything I liked under Heroic other than those two, but feel free to find one and post it in the comments below. Under Legendary, I use Blood Ward, which activating Saber Ward grants immunity to stun, sleep, lift, and incapacitating effects for 6 seconds, and getting attacked while Saber Ward is active heals you for 3% of your maximum health, and the healing effect cannot occur more than once every second. Good substitution will be Thirst for Rage. Bloodthirst generates 12 rage when activated, and you heal for 1% of your maximum health whenever you activate an ability that consumes rage. The other good substitution, which I find to be a very good substitution, is Ruthless Aggressor. Vicious Throw refunds 2 rage when used on a target affected by your obfuscate, and can be used on any target affected by your obfuscate regardless of remaining health. Additionally, activating obfuscate grants you Ruthless Aggressor, increasing your force and attack resistance by 75% for 6 seconds. Oop, hot water's ready. From things to note, I only have a couple here. Smash will spread your rupture and force rend bleeds. And then Annihilate will cause your target to be assailable for 45 seconds, which increases the elemental and eternal damage the target takes by 7%. For a rotation, I first start off with Force Charge, followed by Battering Assault, Annihilate, Rupture, Force Rend, Smash, Force Scream, Deadly Saber, Ravage, and Dual Saber Throw. To show you, first Force Charge, followed by Battering Assault, Annihilate, Rupture, Force Rend, Smash, Force Scream, Deadly Saber, Ravage, Dual Saber Throw, which allows you to go back through and just keep up with the pattern. Just start. Probably not nearly as quick, but at least giving you guys the idea here. You go through from Battering Assault all the way through Daily Saber constantly, and then Ravage and Dual Saber Throw when they're available. Anyway, that's the basics of this class. As for player tips, I'm going to start off in character perks of your legacy screen. Under advancement, I recommend that you max out any that you are going to focus on, whether it be war zones, through flashpoints, space missions, class missions, which goes perfect hand in hand with exploration, Starfighter here. The last row is only going to be useful for those who are max level and are also subscribed. If you're not both, or if you have only one but not the other, you're not going to be using this at all. But the last row is a command experience and will increase command experience gained by a total of 10%. But you have to be subscribed and you have to be max level in order to even get command experience. Under travel, I recommend getting priority transport personal starship, because this will allow you to port to your personal starship regardless of where you're at, for as long as you are able to click on the button, like I have done here. If you're inside a building or a certain spot that does not allow you to be able to click on it to port, then just walk outside and you'll be able to port. It's perfect if you're in the middle of the planet and need to get to your starship to progress in your quest. Under convenience, I recommend getting Field Repair Droid. So everybody loves that, especially in the middle of operations. So that way people are able to repair their armor and able to sell items to clear out inventory space. I also recommend that you get field respec, so you don't have to go to the fleet in order to respec at any given time. You can just spec wherever you're at, except for in the middle of a war zone. But in the long run, everything under convenience here is going to be useful at one point or another. So feel free to unlock everything down here as you progress. Under companion, I recommend maxing out both of what you see on my screen here, which will be Legacy of Altruism, which will increase the amount of companion influence gained from companion gifts by a total of 30%. And Legacy of Promptness, which reduces the time taken to give gifts to your companions by a total of 60%, which will take the time it takes to give gifts from about 3 seconds down to roughly 1.6 seconds per gift. Under Global Unlocks and Other, you'll see alignment, ship unlocks, etc. For alignment, I recommend having one character hit max under light attunement, so you can get the Unity ability, which will reduce the damage you take by 50% for 15 seconds, as long as your companion is out when you activate it. Under ship unlocks, you do not have to have everything, as everything is available to you on the fleet. However, if you're like me, and like to be in your own personal space, to test out your DPS, your tanking, etc., then I do recommend 3 things for the ship unlocks, which this is where my video is taken, it's on my ship. I recommend Repair Droid, because this will provide items that you can purchase for your personal training dummies to switch it out from DPS to a target to be healed or a target to be tanked. Then get Operations Training Dummy as well as Warzone Training Dummy, so you can practice heals, DPS, or tanking. I recommend max out Legacy Fleet Pass, Legacy Travel, as well as improved Priority Transport Personal Starship. Maxing out all 3 of these will allow all 3 to be having both all 3, the Fleet Pass, your quick travel, and your Personal Starship, to have 0 cooldown. You can port all day and potentially annoy any guild members that are trying to keep up with you. I also recommend getting tactical markers in case you are in charge of a flashpoint group or operations group, so that way you can provide a visual to where you want your tanks, your healers, and your DPS, and potentially the boss fight to run a lot smoother than Chaos. Then lastly, I recommend getting improved mounting. This allows you to mount any vehicle or creature while you are moving. It's very addicting, and it completely sucks when you're on an account that does not have this after you get it. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys. So I wish you the best of luck, and welcome to playing an Annihilation Marauder.